we don't elect, we select. They can look at you and say, okay, fine, look at government, okay, you have been with our party for so many years. Okay, let's compensate you. Okay, just give out one local government. Okay, go and do the poster, and that's all.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of your favorite show, Gist HQ. Fasten your seatbelt, guys. You're in for a jolly good ride. So today we are going to be talking about why Nigerians focus more on the presidential elections and not other levels of the election. It is no news that the 2023 general elections are at hand, and a lot of Nigerians are just focusing on who becomes the president. So today we are going to be talking about that, why Nigerians need to focus on other levels of the elections. Here with me, I have two very wonderful guests. I have by my right, Mr. Victor Ofili. He is a financial analyst. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
And also by my left, I have the wonderful Mr. Maiwa Adeniran. He is a seasoned journalist. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
So I would like to start from you, Mr. Victor. Why do you think it is that Nigerians focus more on the presidential elections?
I don't know, perhaps because the president appears to be more conspicuous, the most conspicuous of all the contenders, of all the different tiers of government. The president wields a lot of authority. Has a lot of resources at his disposal. And then if you look at the election cycles, most of the people you see around, most of the contenders, or let me say the president, seems to be the contender that is shown or is being advertised across the country. The presidential election happens 2 weeks before that of the governorship election. All right, and so it's as if in the run up to the elections, a lot of energy is focused on, okay, who is this number one man going to be and who are going to select. And then maybe after the elections, all the energy seems to peter out, towards the governorship election. So I guess that's why we have a lot of focus directed towards the president, or who becomes the president, and then when you have the president also will, like I said, wields a lot of influence and power. He has a lot of resources at his disposal. So it's assumed that, okay, the number one man there is what will attract the rest. Power brokers, those in the other levels of government, trying to see what they can get from the center. Center is, it appears to be the most beefed up compared to the others. They have, like I said, a lot of resources at their disposal. Yeah, the police, law enforcement, is at his disposal, and all that, diplomacy, everything is at his disposal. So they believe that if they can go closer to the president, they can get something better for themselves.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So, Mr. Maiwa, like, how important are other levels of the election?
Okay. Before I answer that question, I just want to contribute to the question of why presidential election is more important. For me, I just want to question certain things about what our law says about it. Who designed that to have presidential election first? Can we start interrogate to say that, because since 1999 up to date, I think that's the model. Are we the one that decided that, okay, this is the way we want to do it? Is it possible to say that, okay, what if we do governorship first? What is going to happen? Is it our own making? Can we subject it to scrutiny, maybe in National Assembly, and say, okay, fine, why are you guys doing this? Because Nigerian politicians, they have their reason for putting it that way. Whatever swing after the presidential, it will affect governorship.
Yes, yes, it will.
So My own question is this: is it according to the law? Is it in our electoral act? Or we just decide to say that, okay, fine, this is our own time to do. So go back to your question, why others? For me, Nigeria is a federation which we are yet to admit. Presidential, you sit over 36 states, including FCT, parastatals, and everywhere. You have mission across the world. You can't see everything. But the question now is, what happened at the states? There are a lot of sentiment that, our election in Nigeria, over the time, we assume that what is happening at the top must happen. So by the time we start questioning that, okay, we can have, NCP at the top, but what says that we cannot have PPP at the state? But the way we are running our democracy in Nigeria, if you don't link up, they will frustrate you. So the importance of state governance and local government governance, we have attached it to what political party do you belong to?
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much for that wonderful answer. So back to you, Mr. Mayo. What do you think the local government chairmen really have the power to make an impact given the challenge of autonomy?
Okay. We should have to go back to what the law says about it. Because for me, what we are not doing in this country is that we are not asking questions. Who created the local government? For what purpose? Are they living up to that purpose? If we know that we cannot make our local government work, why do we put in our constitution? So for me, we are still raising the question of what's wrong with our constitution. Because local government gets to the community. Where my president cannot see, where my governor cannot see, the local government chairman can see it. And the way local government runs, they run the same level of governance. They have the local government chairman, like the president, they have the vice chairman, they have supervisor for health, education, this and all that. So it's the same structure. But the question is this: what is our constitution saying about our autonomy? Why is it that they don't want to give them total autonomy? You understand? And the way our local government was structured in Nigeria, so fantastic. We have 774 local government. So you know what you are dealing with. But what is happening at the local government is another question. Do they have that power? And what is that power? Is physical power is there. And that is why you see then that autonomy has been questioned over the years. But who is holding it? Is it the president, National Assembly, or the Forum of Governors? What is their fear that they don't want to give that autonomy, total autonomy to the local government? So it's the question that we continue asking.
So like you said, it's the question that we will continue asking. Do you have anything to say about that, sir?
Yes, I think I align with what he said. I guess there is a kind of rivalry between the state government and the local government. Because look at it, we have three tiers of government. Executive branch, we have the president, the state, and the local government. The president, according to the revenue sharing formula, for instance, is entitled to 52%, or let me say the federal government rather, 52% of the allocation, or FAC allocations. The state is entitled to like 27%, and local government like 20%. And it was said that, for instance, the president said in one forum like that you know the local government, from his own experience, local governments don't get to have or receive all their entitlements from FAC. That the state governors actually take a proportion of that amount and add it to their own, making them closer to what the federal government gets. Because they feel that once they have such resources at their disposal, then they can behave like fiefdoms, like they have the power to wield control, And that's why we don't see development coming down to the grassroots, where the local government resides, where the local executives, as it were, resides. So I guess there's this power tussle, this rivalry. They don't want to outshine any other form of government beneath them. That's what I just think. And that's why when, for instance, they've been calling for full autonomy for local governments, but we're not seeing these things happen because the governors have the legislature, which are other, arms of government, and even the judiciary, but particularly the state legislatures, lining up with them, so that it's difficult for all states, or let me say the requirement for 24% of 24 states out of the 36 states to accede to autonomy, full autonomy. That's what it's got to achieve, because they are working with the state governments are working with the legislatures. So it's difficult. So it's until we see reason in that aspect amongst the key players, and eventually these local governments, let me say the state and state legislatures, agree to hand over autonomy to the local government. That's where we can see some semblance of true governance cascading down to the populace.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Now, the next question I'm going to ask is, how can Nigerians hold leaders accountable at all levels of government? How do you think we can achieve that accountability in Nigeria? Because it seems as if there is nothing like that at all. So, Mr. Marawa.
Okay, before we talk about accountability, the question about the local government, we need to do more justice to it. He mentioned something about how state governments are not willing to even get 24 states to pass it. It's not that anything wrong with our law, but like what you said, the power. You understand? The power. The state governors, through their godfathers, they don't want to leave their power. Okay, let's ask this question. Do we conduct local government elections often in Nigeria?
No.
You understand? Even if we do, do we have level of sportsmanship with other parties? So if your party is PPP and you have 53 local government, it's all PPP that will win. Are you telling me that all the PPP are doing the same thing in our community? That's another question we need to ask. You understand? So what do we do with that power? Why are they afraid not to give that power? Because we don't elect, we select. They can look at you and say, okay, fine, local government, okay, you have been with our party for so many years. Okay, let's compensate you. Okay, just give our one local government. Okay, go and do the postcard, and that's all.
And when they select the person, the people in that local government have to accept that person.
Because it's Godfather that is talking, not my vote.
So in a case where they object, what happens?
The way we are in Nigeria, as far as I know, since 1999, nobody else does. And if I'm wrong, at least I'm standing here to be corrected. You just have to accept. And that's the question of, is it good to have a godfather? Is it bad to have a godfather? And in Nigeria, there is something that we get to understand. You know, they will say government is a deep state. But we ask the question why they call it a deep state.
Just so why?
You understand? The reason is that it's deep. Fine. Godfatherism is okay. You can't lie. Because it took Obama so many years to be carrying, Bill Clinton briefcase and following him around. But reverse is the case in this case. What is our godfatherism talk about? What we give people? And if at the state level, if political parties were in control, but that's another area that we're not even talking about, is my party. There can be, and there will be accountability. It's not that we're not been trying to take them to our own citizen court. At least, how many years ago? We tried during Occupy Nigeria. We all know what happened. The recent one is the NSAS.
Yes.
You know what happened.
Yeah.
But currently, the situation we find ourselves right now, how can we take them to citizen court to say that okay, we are asking accountability?
Okay.
Yeah, I think in line with what he said, accountability ought normally to come first at the polls. But like he said, when you have a situation whereby state governors hardly conduct, or some of them hardly conduct elections for local government as at when they ought to, or they have the powers to even remove duly elected local government officials in their offices. Such kinds of control will reduce the level of accountability that is expected, scrutiny that is expected. So, how do you now find a situation a desired situation whereby we're able to hold elected officials accountable? The power is so much concentrated at the state level. They act like, as it were, mini gods.
Yes, exactly.
One needs to rub shoulders even with the president, who has everything at his disposal. So, but I think if we're able to have credible elections at the local government level, and then we also engage more with local government officials, maybe during town hall meetings, so that we can feel the pulse of the community. And then another thing again that is important is your finances. How open are your finances? The state governors, they're the ones who, should I say, disburse to local government officials whatever they feel like. So the budget is not really properly scrutinized.
So you when you were answering the question before this, you said that the allocation comes directly from the federal to the state. So how does the state disburse to the local government? Is there any channel, or is there any way that we know as people in the state that allocation has come from the federal government to the state and then it has gotten to this level? So is there any way that people know about that, or we just hear it?
Yeah, we know when money is allocated from the federal government. It's published every month.
Yeah.
But when it gets to the states, because they don't have the independent accounts that can be credited directly from source, it's anytime, I guess, it's based on the discretion of the states, to determine when and how much will be allocated to local government, basically. So, and like it was suggested, or let me say, as it was implied, when state governors receive these allocations, they don't give everything to the local government officials. Why? Because the resources are important to them for their own personal projects, apart from the business of running the states.
Wow. So it is safe to say that the state governors control the states.
The allocation, whatever which each local government receives, the state government. And that's why we're looking at a situation, we're trying to amend the constitution so that we grant full autonomy to local government, so that they are able to receive what is entitled, what is due to them.
That's sad. So do you have any other things?
Well, my own admonition goes to the citizen of this country. They can still hold them accountable. All we need to do is reorganize, ask questions, join community groups, work with local NGOs that are promoting good governance, add your voice to it. It's not going to be easy, but let it be on record that in my community, I'm making it back.
And to add, sorry, to what he said, this is the age of social media. So I guess citizen activism should come. Just go around the local government and see, take evidence of what is going on and post it online. Any local government that is doing well, we praise local government online. The ones that are not doing well, that are not seeing development in the past 8 years or 4 years, we also equally put it online. So that when these guys see that, okay, they are scoring low, they'll probably have an impetus to improve on their service delivery.
Okay, thank you very much. So guys, that is as much as we can take today on this show. We'll be going on a break, and when we come back, I'll be bringing you a fabulous DJ as a guest. Welcome back, guys. It's always a pleasure to have you on my show.
Thank you. Pleasure's mine.
So, what do you think about the award that Thames Baby won? A lot of Nigerians are saying that Whiskey brought her to the limelight. What do you think about that?
Okay, the award she won. I think it's a well-deserved award. I mean, I even feel like she should be given a national honor here in Nigeria because she has brought other female artists to the limelight, makes the world know that, yeah, not just the male artists are doing well in Nigeria, also the female artists perform very well. She just brought the female artists of Nigeria to the limelight, and it's a very, very good one. She deserves the award, very, very deserved. Best melodic crowd performance. Yeah, it's a well-deserved award.
A lot of Nigerians are saying that Whiskey brought her to the limelight. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think I know Whiskey brought her to the limelight. Whiskey has been doing that to a lot of artists. He's been bringing people up. He's been a ladder for many upcoming artists we have today, and he also did that for Thames. I don't think Thames would have gotten to where she is today without Whiskey. Yeah, I'm very, very certain of that. I mean, she would have eventually gotten there, but not at the pace she got there now. I mean, it's barely 4 or 5 years, since, she came out to the Nigerian music space, and she's already receiving Grammy Award. I don't think she would have gotten there so fast without the help of Whiskey. So yeah, Whiskey did that.
So what are your top 5 songs for the week?
All right. Top 5 songs for the week. Okay, for number 5, I'll start from number 5. Number 5, we have this song, So by Omali. So take my pains. This song, there's something so special about this song. The song is kind of an old song. I think it's been like 6 months or thereabout now. And when it actually came out initially, it wasn't that trending. Nobody was really vibing to it. Then all of a sudden, last month or thereabout, it was already on number 1 on the charts. For like 2 weeks, it was holding at number 1 very, very strong. And then it started going down. And now again, we're finding it climbing up to number 5 again. That song is something so special about that song. So by Omali. Yeah, that's my number 5. Then on number 4, we have Jolly by Kai. Yeah, by Kai. Jolly by Kai. It's a very, very nice, sweet, romantic song. Jolly before the relationship. Yeah, that's a very nice song. I mean, I feel that song too much. Should go great for me. Okay, yeah, that's my number 4 on the list. Then number 3, we have Yoga by Ashake. I feel like Ashake is beginning to have a lot of competition these days. Unlike last year, you go see Ashake, number 1 Ashake, number 2 Ashake, number 3 Ashake. He go just dominates this top 5. But now you are barely seeing him. It's probably just one of his songs that is in that top 5. I feel like it's getting a lot of competition these days, and that's nice. It just pushes the Nigerian artists to do more, and I like that. I like the challenge. Then for number 2, we have this new song. It just came out a few days ago, and it's already competing for number 1. It's currently on number 2, and that's Guagalada by Buju, Kiss Daniel, and Shay vibe. I don't really know much of that lyrics, but I've been hearing a lot of people vibe into the song. It's a very nice song, I think, yeah, and it deserves the spot. It's not later to get to number one. Then number one for the list, I don't know, is still our number one girl, Ira Star, Stability. She's been holding this number one for like 2 weeks now, and she no one grief for Gwagwalada, but she's still there, and it's a very, very nice song. I mean, everyone vibes to Stability. So yeah, that's the number one for the week. So guys, that's my top 5 for this week. Look forward to next week. Yeah.
Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed the show today. Keep a date with me next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Don't also forget to send in a comment. Thank you very much for watching, and until I come your way again, bye.